This is Jeff Angelo sitting in for Jan Michelson. There is a murder trial going on in Michigan. A wife has been accused of shooting her husband to death. The couple owns a parrot. The parrot's name is Bud. Bud is known for imitating the husband's voice and picking up his words. Bud may have witnessed the murder and is now imitating his owner's last words. We're going to play you. I promise you, you will be creeped out. Bud imitating his owner's voice and what may be his owner's final words. There's a bleep in here because he's cussing, but here is what Bud is saying. Don't shoot is what Bud the parrot is saying, and the prosecutor in the case is thinking of using Bud as a witness in the killing. Joining me on News Radio 1040 WHO Newsmakers Line, Attorney Loretta Powers. First of all, Loretta, just how intrigued are you by all of this? Before I ask your opinion on all of this.
All right, well, I want to be sensitive because the person lost his life, but
Right.
It sounds like a plot to a Jim Carrey movie.
Right. I know, exactly. I mean, this is amazing. So you're an attorney. Give me your opinion. Is the parrot, what the parrot's saying admissible in court? What do you think?
No judge in his right mind would ever allow it. In order for the bird to be put into evidence, the prosecutor is going to have to bolster his case by getting an expert to testify. So I'm thinking a bird whisperer, perhaps?
Oh.
Yes, but ultimately the prosecutor is going to lose this one.
Oh, do you really think so? Now, see, again, yes, we're making light of it a little bit, but you really want to see that. You really want to see this put in evidence, don't you, Loretta? Or would that have would that have a bad precedent? That's I guess I would be worried about.
It would definitely be a bad precedent because there's no way to tell whether this bird is getting the statements from a TV show or from other people. You can't really put this bird at his statements at the time and place of the murder.
Have you ever heard of anything like this, Loretta? Is there a precedent for something like this?
In all my years of being a criminal defense attorney, I have never heard something like this. I mean, a defendant has a right to confront their accuser.
Yeah.
So how are you going to cross-examine this bird?
Would you ask him if he wants a cracker? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's a great question.
Know.
I like how practical you're being about this, Loretta, because you are thinking like this, like an attorney. You're like, look, you got to cross-examine the bird. What do you do? Yeah.
Yes. And even if it could testify, I would argue that it's inadmissible hearsay.
Sure. Inadmissible hearsay. So your thought on this, your criminal defense attorney, was, would you... Again, I'm trying to think of getting the bird admitted. Could you bring in an animal expert and then at least play the video in the court? Let's say you're not going to put Bud on the stand. Could you at least ask the judge to play the video in the court if you brought in an animal expert? No,
absolutely not. The judge is not going to allow it because it's not good evidence. It's not reliable. And I kind of have to wonder about the prosecutor's motive in this. He has to know. The prosecutor has to know that it won't get into evidence. And he's like, well, how do I get the public to know about it? Well, I'll go to the media.
Well,
and it borders on prosecutorial misconduct, I think.
I think you just brought up a bigger topic, Loretta, and I appreciate you bringing that up because we're all watching all these shows about the OJ trial. And that seemed to be also a big thing, which was if you're an attorney and you don't think you can get evidence in the court, you can always go to the media, correct?
Yes, and it usually is prosecutorial misconduct. However, if there's no precedent, you could kind of get in through the back door that way.
Right. So you think that, the prosecutor probably knew the bird's not going to get admitted, so all of a sudden we have this video going viral on the internet.
I mean, it's pretty brilliant to paint the jury pool that way.
Yeah, so you got all of this publicity. Yeah, absolutely right. So if you're the criminal defense attorney, are you now arguing that the jury's been prejudiced because this video is viral? It's creeping all of us out, Loretta. So what's your response to that? Would you say, okay, this is prosecutorial misconduct. How do you get a fair trial now for the wife in this case?
I would definitely ask for more jurors and make sure that those jurors have never seen this video.
Have you ever had a juror
It's
like
definitely prejudice.
have you had a juror that said, "No, I never saw that video," and you're like, "I don't believe him"? That's got to be one of the problems there. So it looks like it's going to be straightforward. You don't have any advice for us today, Loretta, to be more careful around our animals?
I mean, you definitely don't want to commit crimes in front of your animals, but regardless of whether or not they could talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, is this one of the stranger things that you've ever seen? Have you seen stranger than this? Or I want to get an attorney's opinion, because you see a lot of things as a criminal defense attorney. I was just wondering if this is one of the odder things that you've ever seen.
It definitely is. I'd say in all of my years' experience, I've never seen somebody try to get an animal into evidence, and especially to testify.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you make the parrot swear that he's telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You just can't do that, I wouldn't think.
I guess raise your right feather and solemnly swear? I don't know.
I don't know either. Loretta, thanks for weighing in. I mean, you brought a realistic perspective to this. We're not going to see the parrot in court anytime soon. So,
absolutely not.
All right, thank you for checking in. Okay, yes, and producer Steve Young tells me, yes, we're all going to have nightmares tonight, and I do. That just creeps me out. Thanks for joining me.